The great hall was filled with voices. Commander Tejo stood at the center, his uniform clean and bright with medals. Around him sat the members of the Velthari Supreme Council. They were the most powerful beings in 17 star systems. Today they would decide the future of their empire. Elder Hyunsik rose from his seat. His body was old and bent. His scales had lost their shine many years ago, but his eyes were still sharp. Everyone grew quiet when he spoke. "I ask you to reconsider this plan," the elder said. His voice was soft but firm. "You do not know what you are doing. You do not understand what humanity is." Tejo felt annoyance rise in his chest. He had heard this speech before. The old ones always talked about the humans like they were gods. It made no sense. "Elder Hyunsik," Tejo said, trying to sound respectful. "With all due respect, the humans are weak. They control only 3 small colonies. Their ships are old. Their weapons are simple metal bullets. We have plasma cannons and energy shields. This will be an easy victory." The elder shook his head slowly. 200 cycles ago I was there. I was young like you. I saw the humans with my own eyes. We traded with them. We learned from them. And we were warned to never make them our enemies. Misun, Tejo's tactical officer, stood up. She was young and confident. Her presentation appeared on the screens around the hall. It showed human ships slow and clumsy. It showed human colonies barely defended. It showed numbers that proved the Velthari were stronger in every way. "The facts speak for themselves," Misun said. "Humanity has 12 warships total. We have 400 in this sector alone. Their population is small. Their technology is outdated. They pose no real threat to the Empire." Several council members nodded. They liked what they heard. The Empire needed to expand. The resources in human territory were valuable. Why should they let such a weak species control them? "You see numbers," Elder Hyunsik said. "You see ships and weapons, but you do not see the truth." He touched a control on his arm device. An old recording appeared on the screens. It showed a human. The creature looked strange to Velthari eyes. It had no scales, no natural armor. Its body looked soft and weak. But there was something in its eyes that made Tejo uncomfortable. "This is Captain Park from the human vessel Horizon," the elder explained. 200 cycles ago, a small Velthari house attacked his research ship. They thought the humans would be easy prey. They were wrong. The recording showed the aftermath. The Velthari who had attacked were found across 5 different star systems. All of them captured. All of them held for justice. The humans had tracked each one down with impossible precision. "It took them 1 cycle," Hyunsik said. 1 cycle to find criminals across 5 systems. They did not destroy planets. They did not kill innocents. They simply found every single person responsible and brought them to trial. Then they went back to their space as if nothing had happened. "One incident from 200 years ago," Tejo argued. "Things have changed. We have grown stronger. Our empire spans 17 systems now, and they have chosen to remain small," the elder replied. "Have you asked yourself why? A species that can track criminals across 5 systems in 1 cycle could easily build a vast empire, but they stay small. They stay quiet. Why?" No one had an answer to that question. The hall was silent for a moment. Councillor Bamsu broke the silence. He was in charge of resource management. "We need those worlds, Elder. Our people are growing. We need more space, more resources. The humans occupy valuable territory and barely use it. It is wasteful." "Then negotiate," Hyunsik pleaded. "Trade with them. Buy the resources. But do not attack them. Please, I am begging you. I have seen what they are capable of. You think you face a small, weak species, but you face something else, something dangerous. What makes them so dangerous?" asked Councillor Jinnah. She sounded genuinely curious. The elder looked tired. He had been trying to make them understand for months. "They come from a death world. Do you know what that means? Their planet tried to kill them every single day. Storms that could destroy cities. Predators with claws and teeth that could tear them apart. Diseases, famines, ice ages. Their world wanted them dead. But they survived," Tejo said. "So what? Many species survived difficult conditions." "No," Hyunsik said firmly. "You do not understand. They did not just survive. They became the apex predator of their entire planet. They hunted creatures 10 times their size with primitive tools. They survived by being smarter, tougher, and more stubborn than anything else. And they carry that inside them still." He looked around the hall, meeting the eyes of each council member. "Humans do not give up. Ever. If you hurt them, they will come for you. Not with rage, not with passion, with cold calculated precision. They will hunt you like they hunted the great beasts of their world, and they will not stop until justice is done. This is fear-talking, Mi-sun said dismissively, not facts. Elder, I respect your experience, but you are letting old fears cloud your judgment. We have analyzed the human military. We know their capabilities. This invasion will succeed. The vote was called. One by one, the council members made their choice. Taeho watched as the numbers appeared on the screen. 15 votes for invasion, 3 votes against. The elder and 2 others who remembered the old days. It is decided, announced the council leader. Commander Taeho, you will lead the invasion fleet. Take the human colonies. Show them the power of the Velthari Empire. Make them surrender or destroy them. Taeho saluted. Pride filled his chest. This would be his greatest victory. His name would be remembered forever. Elder Hyun-sik stood slowly. He looked at Taeho with sadness in his eyes. Commander, I pray you survive what comes next. I pray you learn the lesson quickly before too many die. Humanity is not your enemy because they want to be. They are your enemy because you have made them one, and that is the worst mistake you could make. We will see, Elder, Taeho said. He meant to sound confident, but something in the old one's voice made him feel cold inside. As the council members left the hall preparing for war, Hyun-sik remained seated. He remembered the human he had met 2 centuries ago. Captain Park had been kind and friendly, but when someone had threatened his crew, Hyun-sik had seen something else in those human eyes. Something ancient and predatory, something that had survived since the dawn of time on a world that showed no mercy. The old elder whispered to the empty hall. You ignored the warnings. Now you will learn what humanity truly is. May the stars have mercy on you because the humans will not. The invasion fleet began to gather. 400 ships prepared for war. The crews were confident and excited. They thought they were about to win an easy victory. None of them knew they had just awakened something that should have been left sleeping. The Velthari fleet emerged from jump space in perfect formation. 400 warships appeared around the human colony of New Busan. Like a metal storm, Taeho stood on the bridge of his flagship watching the screens with satisfaction. Everything was going according to plan. Report, he commanded. Jiwoo, the intelligence coordinator, checked his sensors. 3 orbital defense stations detected. 7 patrol ships. 1 small shipyard. No sign of additional forces, Commander. The colony is exactly as weak as we predicted. Mi-sun smiled. They cannot defend against us. We outnumber them 50 to 1. This will be over in minutes. Taeho opened a communication channel to the colony. Humans of New Busan, this is Commander Taeho of the Velthari Empire. Your territory now belongs to us. Surrender immediately and you will not be harmed. Resist and we will destroy everything you have built. The reply came quickly. A human woman appeared on the screen.
She wore a military uniform.
Her face was calm, showing no fear. This is Captain Subin of the UES Indomitable. We've received your message and forwarded it to Earth. They're reviewing it now, but I can tell you what their response will be. They're not happy. Neither are we. Taeho laughed. You have 7 ships. We have 400. Be reasonable. Subin's expression did not change. Last chance, Commander. Turn your fleet around. Leave our space. Forget this ever happened. We'll forget too. Impossible, Taeho said. This is your final warning. Surrender or be destroyed. The human captain was quiet for a moment. Then she said something that Taeho would remember for the rest of his life. Okay, we warned you. What happens next is on you, not us. The communication ended. All ships, Taeho commanded. Attack, destroy their defenses. Show them the power of the Empire. The Velthari fleet moved forward. Plasma weapons fired in brilliant streams of light. The first orbital station exploded in seconds. The second followed shortly after. Human patrol ships tried to fight back, but their primitive kinetic weapons bounced off Velthari shields. This is almost too easy, Mi-sun said. Within 30 minutes, all 3 stations were destroyed. 6 of the 7 human ships were burning wrecks floating in space. Only the Indomitable remained, badly damaged but still broadcasting. Finish them, Taeho ordered. But before the killing shot could be fired, young He at the sensor station called out. Commander! Something strange. The destroyed human ships are still transmitting. Distress calls? Taeho asked. No, sir, data, lots of data. I cannot decode it, but they are broadcasting everything about our fleet. Our positions, our shield frequencies, our weapon patterns, everything. A cold feeling touched Teho's spine. To whom there are no other human ships in range? I do not know, Commander. The transmission is going to multiple jump points. Misun looked worried now. They were recording everything. The entire battle. They knew they would lose. So what? Teho said, trying to sound confident. Let them send their data. We have won here. The colony is ours. But the Indomitable sent one more message before it went silent. Captain Subin's face appeared again, covered in blood. 27 minutes. That's how long you have until the first response fleet arrives. Make peace with whatever gods you believe in. Then the ship exploded. 27 minutes? Teho said. That is impossible. The nearest human system is days away. Jiwoo checked his calculations again. She is bluffing, Commander. They cannot. He stopped. His face went pale. Sir, multiple jump signatures detected. Many of them. The human reinforcements appeared exactly 27 minutes after Subin's message. 15 ships emerged from jump space using vectors the Velthari had thought impossible. These ships were different from the colony patrol vessels. They were sleeker, faster, and moved with frightening precision. All ships defensive formation, Teho ordered. The human fleet did not give them time. They attacked immediately with the same kinetic weapons the Velthari had laughed at before. But something was different now. The bullets did not bounce off the shields. They punched through like the shields were not even there. Impossible, Misun shouted. Our shields should stop those weapons easily. They analyzed our shield frequency during the first battle, Jiwoo said, his voice shaking. They calibrated their weapons in real time. They knew exactly how to penetrate our defenses. 5 Velthari ships exploded in the first minute, then 10 more. The humans moved like hunters, striking fast and disappearing before the Velthari could respond. They used the debris from destroyed stations as cover. They predicted where the Velthari ships would move and waited there. Return fire, Teho commanded. But every time his ships fired, the humans were already somewhere else. Dong-hyun, the second in command, studied the battle patterns. Commander, they are not fighting like a military force. They are fighting like predators. They are separating our ships from the pack, isolating them and destroying them one by one. Another wave of human ships arrived. Then another. Each group moved perfectly with the others, even though the Velthari could not detect any central command signals. It was as if each human ship knew what the others would do without being told. After 6 hours of fighting, Teho had lost 130 ships. 1/3 of his fleet was gone. The humans had lost only 3 ships. We need to retreat, Misun said. She was not smiling anymore. Commander, we cannot win here. Teho hated to admit it, but she was right. All ships jump to Nexus 7. We will regroup there. The fleet began to break off and prepare jump drives. But Young-hee's sensors showed something terrifying. Commander, the humans are not letting us leave. They are positioning themselves to cut off our jump vectors. They are hurting us. Hurting us? To where? Into the gravity well of the planet's moon. If we jump from there, we will tear our ships apart. Teho realized the truth. The humans had planned this, all of it. From the moment the first shot was fired, they had been controlling the battle. The Velthari had thought they were winning, but they had been walking into a trap. Emergency burn all ships. Get clear of the gravity well, maximum speed. The Velthari fleet scattered, trying to escape. The humans pursued, striking constantly. They did not give the Velthari time to rest or regroup. Every few minutes, another Velthari ship exploded. Finally, after 8 more hours of running, the fleet managed to reach safe jump distance. Ships began disappearing into jump space, fleeing to Nexus 7. Teho's flagship was one of the last to jump. As the jump drive activated, he looked back at New Busan. The colony was still there. The humans had defended it. They had turned a certain defeat into a devastating victory. On the main screen, a message appeared from the human fleet. It was simple and clear. This was for New Busan. What comes next is for starting this war. Run fast, Commander. We're right behind you. The ship jumped and the stars stretched into lines of light. But Teho knew the truth now. They were not running to safety. They were running from something that would not stop chasing them. In the crew quarters, soldiers whispered to each other in fear. They had won the first battle but lost the war in the same day. They had attacked a sleeping predator and woken it up. Dong-hyun approached Teho privately. Sir, we need to request reinforcements. We need to call the main fleet and tell them what? Tejo said bitterly. That we lost 1/3 of our ships to an enemy we were told was weak? That we were outmaneuvered by primitive humans using simple bullets? The Council will not send help. They will see this as our failure. Then what do we do? Tejo looked at the star map. Nexus 7 was 3 days away. The humans would be following them the entire time. We survive, we learn, and we pray that Elder Hyunsik was wrong about how dangerous the humans really are. But in his heart, Tejo knew the Elder had been right. They had ignored the warnings. They had laughed at the cautions. And now they would learn what humanity truly was. The hard way. The journey to Nexus 7 should have taken 3 days. It took 6. The humans made sure of that. They did not attack in massive waves. They did not try to destroy the entire fleet at once. Instead, they followed. Always present, always watching, always striking when the Velthari least expected it. Tejo stood on the bridge looking at the reports. His crew had not slept properly in 4 days. Every few hours, human ships would appear from nowhere, fire several precise shots, destroy a ship or damage it badly, and then vanish before the Velthari could respond. Another attack. Commander, Young He reported tiredly. They hit the supply ship Morning Star. The ship is crippled but not destroyed. They targeted only the engines. Why? Tejo asked. Why not just destroy it? Dong Hyun had been studying human tactics. Because a destroyed ship is gone. But a crippled ship slows us down. We have to either leave it behind or slow the entire fleet to protect it. Either choice hurts us. Mi-sun looked exhausted. Her uniform was wrinkled. Her eyes had dark circles under them. How do they keep finding us? We change course every few hours. We use randomized jump vectors. But they always know where we are. Hee-jin, the xenopsychology advisor, finally spoke. Tejo had been ignoring her for weeks, but now he listened. Commander, I need to explain something about humans, about how they evolved. Go ahead, Tejo said. On their world, humans were not the strongest creatures. They were not the fastest. They did not have claws or armor or venom. They survived by being persistence hunters. Do you know what that means? Several crew members shook their heads. It means they chased their prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, Hyojin explained. A human can run slower than most animals, but a human can run for hours without stopping. Days even. They would chase animals in the hot sun until the prey simply could not run anymore. Then they would kill it. What does that have to do with us? Mi-sun asked. Everything. You think they are attacking us? No, they are chasing us. They do not need to catch us right now. They just need to keep us moving, keep us scared, keep us from resting. Eventually we will collapse, and then they will finish us. The words hung in the air like poison. Everyone on the bridge understood now. The humans were not fighting a battle. They were hunting. Sang-min, the ship's medical officer, sent his daily report. Tejo read it with growing horror. Stress-related illness was up 300%. 6 crew members had suffered mental breakdowns. Dozens more were on medication just to function. The humans were healthy and alert. The Velthari were falling apart. We need rest, Tejo said. All ships we will stop for 8 hours. Full defensive perimeter. Everyone gets sleep, they tried. But 2 hours into the rest period, human ships appeared. They fired, destroyed 2 patrol vessels, and vanished. The rest period was over. The fleet moved again. Jiwoo intercepted another human transmission. He had been listening to them for days, trying to understand their strategy. What he heard confused him. Commander, the humans are not discussing military tactics. Then what are they discussing? Everything else. They are sharing stories, playing music. One crew is having a debate about the best way to cook some earth food called pizza. Another crew is doing something they call a talent show. Tejo stared at him. They are chasing us, destroying our ships, and they are having talent shows? Yes, sir. They are not stressed at all. This is normal for them. Like they are on a routine patrol. The truth hit Tejo hard. This was easy for the humans. They were not pushing themselves. They were not exhausted. This was just another day for them. Meanwhile, his own people were breaking. Sir, Young He called. We are approaching Nexus 7. The station confirms they are ready to receive us. Finally, some good news. Nexus 7 was a full military station with heavy defenses, repair docks, and 200 additional warships. Once they reached it, the humans would have to face a real fight. But when they arrived, Tejo saw something that made his blood cold. The human fleet was already there, waiting. Admiral Minji of the Human Forces opened a communication channel. She looked calm and professional. Commander Teho, this is Admiral Minji. We have you surrounded. Your station cannot help you. You have one chance to end this without more death. You are bluffing, Teho said. Nexus 7 has heavy defenses. You cannot take it, watch. The human fleet moved. But they did not attack the station. Instead, they deployed thousands of small drones. The drones spread out in a perfect sphere around Nexus 7. Each one was broadcasting. Jiwoo analyzed the signals. Commander, they are creating a sensor net. They can detect any ship that tries to leave, and they are jamming our communications with the rest of the Empire. We can still fight, Teho insisted. We have more ships than they do now. Do we? Dong-hyun pointed at the sensors. Look carefully. We can see 30 human ships, but they have been showing us 30 ships for the past 6 days. I do not think that is all they have. They have been hiding their true numbers. Admiral Minji spoke again. Commander, I will be honest with you. We know you have families back home. We know many of you were just following orders. We do not want to kill you, but we will if we have to. Surrender now. You will be treated fairly under galactic law. Your wounded will get medical care. Your crew will be fed and sheltered. Or keep fighting, and we will show you why we are the only species that names warships after concepts like vengeance, retribution, and unforgiving. Teho looked at his crew. They were exhausted, scared, and broken, but they were also proud warriors of the Empire. If we surrender, the Empire will see us as cowards. If we fight, we will die, Hee-jin said quietly. Commander, I have studied humans for years. When they make threats, they mean them. But when they make promises, they keep them too. She says we will be treated fairly. I believe her. I do not accept surrender, Teho declared. All ships prepare for battle. Nexus 7, activate all defenses. We make our stand here, the station commander acknowledged. Weapons powered up. Shields activated. The Velthari fleet moved into defensive positions. Admiral Minji sighed. The sound came through clearly on the channel. I hoped you would choose differently. I really did, but okay. If this is how it must be, then this is how it will be. The human fleet moved forward, and then Teho saw the truth. More human ships appeared. And more, and more. The 30 ships he had been tracking were just the visible scouts. The real fleet had been waiting in stealth, hidden in the debris fields and radiation clouds. There were not 30 human ships. There were 300. Impossible, Misun whispered. Where did they all come from? They were always there, Dong-hyun said, following us in the shadows. We only saw what they wanted us to see. The Battle of Nexus 7 began, and from the first moment Teho knew they had already lost. The humans did not fight with rage. They did not charge wildly. They moved with cold, calculated precision. Every shot was measured. Every maneuver was planned. They coordinated perfectly, each ship trusting the others completely. When a human ship was damaged, it did not retreat. It rammed itself into Velthari formations, using its death as a weapon. When a human ship lost all weapons, it continued fighting with just its engines, using itself as a missile. Hee-jin watched in horror as a human frigate, with only 3 crew members still alive and massive hull breaches, successfully destroyed a Velthari battlecruiser. The frigate had no right to still be fighting, but it fought anyway because humans did not know how to give up. They are insane, Young-hee said. No, Hee-jin corrected. They are desperate. We attacked their home. We killed their people. Now they will make sure we never do it again. This is not insanity. This is justice. The battle raged for 14 hours. Nexus 7's defenses fell one by one. Velthari ships exploded or surrendered. The humans gave every crew a chance to give up. Most took it. Those who did not were destroyed without mercy. Finally, with half his fleet gone and Nexus 7 burning, Teho accepted reality. All ships cease fire. We surrender. The weapons stopped. The humans held their fire immediately. True to their word, they did not kill anyone else unnecessarily. Admiral Minji's face appeared on the screen again. A wise choice, Commander. We will send medical teams to help your wounded. Food and water for your crew. You will be treated as prisoners of war with all rights that entails. What happens now? Teho asked. The Admiral's expression was hard. Now, Commander, we go to your homeworld. Not to conquer it. We are not like you. We are going to make sure you never do this to anyone else ever again. As Teho was taken into custody, He finally understood Elder Hyunsik's warnings. Humanity was not dangerous because they were violent. They were dangerous because they chose when to be violent and when to show mercy, and that choice made them more terrifying than any species that only knew war. The human prison ship was nothing like Tae-ho expected. He had imagined chains, darkness, and cruelty. Instead, he found clean rooms, medical care, and decent food. The humans kept their promise. Prisoners were treated fairly. Tae-ho sat in a small but comfortable cell. His wounds had been treated by a human doctor named Dr. Kai-tae, who worked carefully and spoke kindly. It confused Tae-ho. These were the same humans who had destroyed his fleet, the same ones who had hunted him for days without rest. Now they were gentle. A guard came to his cell. "Commander Tae-ho, someone wants to speak with you." Tae-ho was taken to a communication room. On the screen appeared Elder Hyunsik. The old Velthari looked sad but not surprised. "Elder," Tae-ho said, "you were right. About everything." "I take no pleasure in being right," Hyunsik replied. "How many did we lose?" 200 ships destroyed. 3,000 crew members dead. Many more wounded. Tae-ho's voice broke. "It was a massacre. They were so much better than us." "Not better," the elder corrected. "Different." "Tell me, what did you learn?" Tae-ho thought carefully. "They are persistence hunters. They do not need to be stronger or faster. They just need to never stop. They chased us until we broke. And when we fought, they fought with a skill we cannot match. Yes, but there is more. I sent you a message before the invasion. Did you receive it?" "No, Elder, what message?" Hyunsik looked even sadder. "Then I will tell you now. You need to understand the full truth. 200 cycles ago, when I was young, a minor Velthari house attacked a human research vessel. House Keller. Do you remember them?" "No, I've never heard that name." "Exactly. Because after what happened, House Keller ceased to exist." The elder activated a recording. "Watch this." The recording showed old images. A human ship, small and peaceful, floating in space. Then Velthari warships appeared. They attacked without warning. The human ship was destroyed in seconds. There were 37 humans on that ship, Hyunsik narrated. Scientists, mostly. They were studying star formations. They had no weapons. House Keller thought it would be easy prey. They were wrong. The recording continued. It showed what happened next. Within one cycle, human ships appeared across 5 different star systems. They did not attack planets. They did not harm civilians. They simply and methodically hunted down every single member of House Keller who had been involved in the attack. How did they find them all? Tae-ho asked in amazement. We still do not know. Human intelligence networks are impossible to understand. They tracked over 200 individuals across 5 systems. Every captain, every officer, every crew member who fired a weapon. They found them all. The recording showed trials. The humans brought each criminal before a court. They presented evidence. They allowed defense. Then they passed sentences according to galactic law. Some were imprisoned. Some were executed. All were held responsible, and then, Tae-ho asked, then they left. They went back to their space as if nothing happened. House Keller was gone, not destroyed by war but removed by justice. The humans sent us a message. We do not seek war, but we will have justice always. Tae-ho sat back, understanding now. They are not conquerors. They are survivors. Yes. Every human carries inside them the memory of 10,000 generations fighting to survive. Their planet had megafauna, predators that could kill a human in seconds, but humans hunted them anyway with primitive spears. Their planet had ice ages, plagues, famines, disasters, but humans survived all of it. Heejin appeared on the screen as well. She was also a prisoner but looked calm. Commander, I tried to tell you this before. Humans evolved on a death world. Do you understand what that means? Most species evolved on paradise worlds like ours. Gentle weather, abundant food, few predators. We learned to cooperate and build civilizations because we had time and safety. Humans had neither. Hyunsik continued. They had to fight every day just to survive. They learned to make tools, to hunt, to work together in ways we cannot imagine. And most importantly, they learned when to be violent and when to show mercy. Because on a death world, knowing the difference between a threat and a friend means the difference between survival and extinction. The door opened. Admiral Minji entered the room. Commander Tae-ho, it is time. You are being taken to trial. Will I be executed? Tae-ho asked. That is for the judges to decide. But I can tell you this. We do not execute people for following orders. We save that punishment for those who give evil orders. Taeho was taken to a courtroom on the human flagship. It was formal and serious. Human judges sat at a high bench. In the audience were both humans and Velthari. Misun and Jiwoo were there too, also as prisoners. Judge Yunseo, a stern human woman, spoke. Commander Taeho, you are charged with leading an unprovoked invasion of human territory, resulting in the deaths of civilians and military personnel. How do you plead? Guilty, Taeho said. I followed the orders of the Supreme Council, but I could have refused. I did not. The responsibility is mine. The council members who ordered this war are also facing trial, the judge explained. Each person will be judged according to their actions and choices. We will hear testimony from your crew, from survivors, from everyone involved. Then we will decide fair punishment. The trial lasted 3 days. Witnesses spoke about what happened. Human survivors described the attack on New Busan. Velthari crew members described following orders they knew were wrong. Military experts analyzed each battle and decision. What surprised Taeho most was the fairness. The judges listened to everyone. They asked questions. They considered context. When Velthari officers testified that they had argued against attacking civilians, the judges noted it. When evidence showed some commanders had been especially cruel, that was noted too. Finally, the judges reached their verdict. Judge Unseo read it aloud. Commander Taeho, we find you guilty of war crimes. However, we also recognize that you treated prisoners fairly when you had them. You followed rules of military engagement, and you eventually chose surrender over pointless death. Your sentence is 10 cycles of imprisonment, followed by community service working for peace between species. 10 cycles. Taeho had expected death. Thank you, he said quietly. Do not thank us yet, the judge said. You will spend those 10 cycles thinking about what you did, about the people who died because of your choices. We do not want revenge, Commander. We want you to understand, to learn, to make sure this never happens again. Other officers received different sentences based on their actions. Those who had committed atrocities got longer terms. Those who had shown mercy got shorter ones. The Supreme Council members who had voted for war received the harshest sentences. After the trial, Taeho was allowed to speak with Admiral Minji privately. He had to ask the question that haunted him. Why did you not just destroy us? You could have. We attacked you without reason. We killed your people. The Admiral looked at him for a long moment. Do you know what separates humans from monsters, Commander? Choice. We are capable of terrible violence. You learned that. We can hunt, we can kill, we can destroy, but we choose when to do those things and when to show mercy. I do not understand. Humans survived our death world not just through violence, but through cooperation, compassion, and hope. Yes, we hunted the great beasts, but we also cared for our injured. We adopted orphans from other tribes. We shared food during famines. We created art and music even when we were starving. We survived because we knew when to fight and when to be kind. She stood up to leave, then paused. You asked what humanity is, Commander. This is what we are. We can be your worst nightmare or your greatest ally. We can hunt you across 1,000 stars or help you build a better future. The choice of which one you meet is usually yours. You chose the nightmare. Do not make that choice again. After she left, Taeho sat alone with his thoughts. He understood now. Humanity was not special because they were strong. Many species were strong. They were special because they chose wisely, because they had learned on their terrible world that survival requires both the ability to kill and the wisdom to show mercy. Elder Hyunsik had tried to warn them. The old records had tried to teach them. But the Velthari had been arrogant. They had seen a small peaceful species and assumed it was weak. They had been wrong. The species was small because it chose to be. It was peaceful because it chose to be. But when forced to fight, it fought with the skill and determination of a species that had spent 10,000 generations learning how to survive against impossible odds. Taeho closed his eyes and thought of the dead. The Velthari and humans who had died because he ignored the warnings. He would spend the next 10 cycles making sure their deaths were not meaningless. He would teach others what he had learned. Never ignore the wisdom of elders. Never assume peace means weakness. And never ever provoke the species that survived a death world. 3 months after the war ended, the human fleet arrived at the Velthari homeworld. Every Velthari watching the skies felt fear in their hearts. They expected destruction. They expected conquest. They expected punishment. What they got instead changed everything. Admiral Minji broadcast a message to every communication device on the planet. Every screen, every radio, every public display showed her face. She spoke in Velthari language, translated carefully to be respectful. People of Velthari, we are not here to conquer you. We are not here to destroy your world. We are here to make sure you understand what happened and why it must never happen again. Then the humans did something that broke the Velthari more completely than any weapon could. They released everything. Complete records of the war.
Every battle.
Every casualty. Every order given by the Supreme Council. Every message. Every decision. The Velthari people saw the truth. Their leaders had ignored warnings. They had attacked peaceful colonists. They had started a war for greed and pride. And thousands had died because of it. Protests erupted across the homeworld. The Supreme Council members who had voted for war were removed from power. The people demanded justice. They demanded change, and the humans simply watched, making sure the process was fair. Elder Hyunsik was called to lead a new government body called the Council of Reconciliation. With him were Hyejin and other Velthari who had opposed the war. Their job was to rebuild trust, teach the truth, and make sure the next generation learned from these mistakes. But the humans did more than just expose the truth. They helped. A young human diplomat named Sangwoo arrived with a team of agricultural experts. They met with Velthari farmers and scientists. We understand you needed more resources, Sangwoo explained. Your population is growing. Your worlds cannot produce enough food. So instead of taking human worlds, let us teach you how to make your own worlds more productive. The humans shared farming techniques from Earth, methods developed over thousands of years on a difficult planet, ways to grow more food in less space, ways to turn desert into farmland, ways to make every world support more life. You are helping us? A Velthari farmer named Bora asked in confusion. After we attacked you? Sangwoo smiled. Yes, because we understand being hungry. Earth went through famines. We know what it is like to need resources. We also know that helping you is better than fighting you. If we can solve the problem that caused the war, maybe there will be no more wars. Human engineers helped repair Velthari stations damaged in the fighting. Human doctors treated Velthari wounded. Human teachers came to Velthari schools to teach about human culture, hoping understanding would prevent future conflicts. The Velthari people were amazed and confused. They had attacked humanity. They had killed human colonists. They had started an unprovoked war, yet the humans responded with justice and kindness. Is this a trick? Many Velthari asked. Are they making us weak so they can conquer us later? Elder Hyunsik addressed these concerns in a planetary broadcast. No, this is simply what they are. Humans understand that today's enemy can be tomorrow's friend. They know that revenge only creates more revenge. They choose to break the cycle. Taeho, serving his prison sentence, was assigned to work with human reconstruction teams. He spent his days helping rebuild what he had helped destroy. It was hard work, and every day he faced the consequences of his choices. One day he met Captain Subin. She had survived the Battle of New Busan barely. Her ship had been destroyed, but she had been rescued. Now she worked as a liaison between human and Velthari forces. Captain, Taeho said, I owe you an apology. I gave the order that destroyed your ship. I am sorry. Subin looked at him for a long moment. You know what the hardest part is? 27 of my crew died that day. 27 people who trusted me to keep them safe. I see their faces every night when I sleep. I understand, Taeho said quietly. Do you? Do you really? Her voice was hard. But here is the thing, Commander. Hating you will not bring them back. Punishing you forever will not honor their memory. You know what will? Making sure no one else dies like they did. Making sure this war teaches everyone why peace is better. She held out her hand. So I choose to forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because forgiveness is how we move forward. Taeho took her hand. Tears ran down his face. Thank you. Months passed. The reconstruction continued. Slowly, trust began to build between humans and Velthari. Trade routes reopened. Cultural exchanges began. Young Velthari students traveled to human worlds to study. Young humans came to Velthari worlds to teach. 1 year after the war, a ceremony was held on New Busan. A memorial was built to honor all who died, both human and Velthari. Elder Hyun-sik attended, along with Admiral Minji and representatives from both species. Hyun-sik spoke to the gathered crowd. "We call this war a tragedy." And it was. But perhaps it was also a lesson. We learned what humanity truly is, not from their words but from their actions. He gestured to the memorial. When we attacked them, they defended themselves with skill and determination. They showed us they could fight. But when we surrendered, they showed us mercy. When we needed help, they offered aid. When we needed justice, they gave it fairly. When we needed hope, they built it with us. Admiral Minji spoke next. The Velthari asked me many times, "What is humanity?" I will tell you. We are survivors. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned to fight because we had to. But we also learned to cooperate, to forgive, to hope. Because survival is not just about being strong. It is about being wise. She looked at the crowd, at both species standing together. We are capable of terrible violence. You learned that. But we are also capable of great compassion. We can destroy or we can build. We can hold grudges or we can forgive. We can seek revenge or we can seek peace. Every day we make that choice. And most days we choose peace. Not because we are weak, but because we are strong enough to choose mercy. The ceremony ended with both species planting a tree together. A human tree from Earth and a Veltari tree from their homeworld, planted side by side, roots mixing in the soil, growing together. Taeho stood watching, still in his work uniform. Beside him stood Jiwoo and Mi-sun, also serving their sentences. They had all learned the same lesson, but Taeho wanted to hear it said aloud. "What is humanity?" he asked. "After everything, what are they really?" Jiwoo answered first. "They are warriors who choose when to fight." Mi-sun added, "They are hunters who learned mercy." But it was Hye-jin, walking up to join them, who gave the best answer. "They are the species that chooses. Every species can fight, many species can build, but humans are special because they constantly choose between violence and peace, between revenge and forgiveness, between destruction and creation, and they usually choose the better path. That is what makes them dangerous. Not their weapons. Not their skills, but their wisdom." The Velthari people recorded this war in their histories with a new designation for humanity: the species that chooses. It became a warning and a legend taught to every generation. Never assume small means weak. Never assume peaceful means harmless. Never provoke the species that survived a death world. But also never forget that the same species that can hunt you across the stars is the same species that will help you build a better future. Because that is what humanity is. Years later, Elder Hyun-sik met privately with Taeho, who had completed his sentence and now worked as a peace negotiator between species. The old Veltari was much older now, near the end of his long life. "Do you understand now?" Hyun-sik asked. "Why I warned you." "Yes, Elder," Taeho replied. "I understand everything. But I want to ask you something. If you could go back, would you try harder to stop the war?" Hyun-sik thought carefully. "No, because you would not have listened. Sometimes the young must learn lessons the hard way. I just wish the lesson had not cost so many lives." "I teach about the war now," Taeho said. "I tell young Velthari about what happened, about how we ignored the warnings, about what we learned. Do you think it helps?" "Yes, because the lesson is not just about humans. It is about humility, about listening to wisdom, about understanding that there are things in this universe more dangerous than you can imagine, and most of them look peaceful until you give them a reason not to be." The elder looked out at the stars. Humanity returned to peace after the war, just like they always do. Building, trading, helping. They look small and gentle again. But now we know the truth. We know what they are capable of. And we know they choose every day to be kind instead of cruel. That choice, Taeho, is the most terrifying and wonderful thing about them. Because it means every act of violence is deliberate. Taeho said, understanding. They do not lose control. They do not rage blindly. If they hurt you, it is because they chose to. And they will stop exactly when they decide the lesson is learned. Exactly. Imagine what they could do if they ever stopped restraining themselves. If they ever decided to become conquerors instead of helpers. If they ever chose violence over peace as their default. Both Velthari shuddered at the thought. But they will not, Hyun-sik said with certainty, because they survived their death world not by becoming monsters, but by learning when to be monsters and when to be something better. They will always choose the better path unless you